Welcome back, everyone, and I hope you are all doing well. Today's topic is 7 games the narcissist plays to trip you. That's right, they use the mind. So narcissist's playground is the mind, because the mind then directly impacts on our emotions and on our body, of course, because we feel emotions in the body. And sadly, if you are being manipulated, you're not going to even know that it's happening. Why? Because usually we've lost our present awareness, because we go into the thoughts, what's going on, how do I get them back, how do I become better, how do I do better, and that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to make you obsessed with the narcissist, and it's designed to also take away your quality, quality of your life, your independence, how you see yourself. So let's have a look at some of these mind games that actually are deliberate, and this is while you're going out with them. Of course, this can be across the board. You may notice that some of these things are also happening with family and friends who are toxic. The first one is really important. So the biggest thing that they do initially with the mind trick is they have to first of all get you to believe that they are good, that they want you. So that's what we refer to as the love bombing. So lots of attention, lots of goodwill, lots of romance possibly, but it's a lot of good time. Now, of course, you're feeling very, very secure, and it's predictable. So far we've had consistent communication, we've had consistent acts of attention, we've had consistency. So it's the consistency that's needed here, because without having done all of this, they wouldn't be able to go on to actually then start the cruelty, start playing with you. It's because you've surrendered completely. There's trust here. And so we have trust, and we don't know that the person we're with is mind controlling us. And sadly, people do wake up to being mind controlled, but it's actually a long time later sometimes, or even after they've left the narcissist. It can take them months. I've had people years then work out what had actually happened to them. So if you can start to become more aware and start to trust yourself, start to go back into your present moment, your body, because our bodies where our truth center is really, because that our intuition, it picks up something's not right. Now, of course, sometimes because of your trauma bonding, you can be alerted that something's not right, and it's really because of some memories that haven't been processed. But there's still a difference in that too. Usually when it's a really big, intense trigger, we wouldn't call that intuition. That would definitely be something that's triggered some kind of trauma, some kind of memory, unprocessed memory. So it's important you work through things, have a good therapist, have someone who understands what's occurred for you, so you can start to determine when to act, when not to, and what's actually going on for you in the moment. So let's go. So first of all, they've love bombed you, right? So that's all really good. Now, remember, during that love bombing stage, they were really consistent, weren't they? They were consistent. Phone calls, texts at the same time. It was like clockwork. Now what you'll start seeing is that there could start some ghosting. So ghosting could start in small ways at first. Not too much, but just in small ways. So for instance, if you're always getting a morning text, then all of a sudden you might notice that there's no morning text. Or if you always say have lunch together on a Friday, you have lunch together on Friday, then all of a sudden they just don't mention about the lunch on the Friday. And so you go, oh, is lunch still on today? Oh no, sorry, I've made other plans. So it can start in small ways. The third way that they start to play with your mind is that they will change their mind. So just say that you had agreed that you were going to be long term, that you were going to maybe even move in together. Then what you start finding is that it's not talked about anymore. And so there's like a void. And so you start saying, oh, so what's going on with our relationship? You're wanting to talk about the commitment, the next phase, the next stage, and you might be met with silence. Self-doubt starts to creep in. Then you may say, oh, so what's happening this Christmas? Silence. They might surprise you and say, oh, guess what? Yeah, I've just booked tickets to go to Bali for Easter. And you're thinking, what? Yeah, I'm going by myself. I'm going with my mates. Or I'm going with my friends. So these are the ways that they can start to dysregulate you. Yeah. Another way that they will start to play mind games with you is what we refer to as gaslighting. So if you were to say to them, look, I need to talk, I'm not happy, this is what's been happening, boom, blah, 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 where have you been? I don't know where you're going, whose message is this? And then flip, it goes onto you. Why do you always do this to me? Why can't you leave me alone? What is it with you? You're the one who's always going out. You're the one who I can never find on the phone. So big mind thing goes on. Now you start thinking, shivers, maybe I haven't been paying enough attention to them. Maybe it is me. Then they will also lie, of course. They'll lie. So if you're talking about something and you say to them, why were you so long at the shops? And they'll say, oh, no, nothing. Was I long? I wasn't long. And then maybe 3 days later, you'll say, oh yeah, I caught up with so-and-so the other day. And you'll say, when did you catch up with them? Oh, I bumped into them while I was at the shops. So once again, your mind's going on you. Then they will start to be silent around you. So you may catch up with them and there's just silence. You may be in the same house, you may be living with them, but there's silence. Now their mood starts changing. They control people with their moods, bad moods. So you now start thinking, why are they in a bad mood? And of course, what do you want to do? You want to put them in a good mood. So you might start trying to be nicer or trying to start to organize some really nice things. The other thing that they start to play on your mind is that they'll start to say to you things like, you don't really love me. The way that, you treat me, behave, I don't feel that from you. I felt more love from, and they'll bring in an ex. They'll bring in an ex that they bagged. They actually talk bad about an ex, but they'll bring that ex in now because they felt more love from them. Now, once again, that does your mind in, starts playing mind tricks on you. It's all designed so that you try harder. It's all designed to keep you stuck. And the more that you try to fix the relationship and the more it's not fixing and the more they don't want to fix it, eventually you do collapse and you submit to staying stuck. And you may not even want to go out with them anymore, so you stay at home, even if you're living with them. You might stop going with family and friends, and before you know it, you become a shell of a person. You may not be able to concentrate anymore at work or with whatever you're doing. That joy's gone. And what you'll see is that the narcissist starts to spend more and more time away from you, and there's a part of you that's very happy about that too, because you think, I'd rather not have you near me with all that negative energy. But it's so unhealthy. The only thing that's happening is that you are wasting your time, your life, and your mental health. It's very difficult to have that quality. So there are just a few things that I wanted to talk to you about today about why the narcissist does what they do. And if you are feeling confused in a relationship, it's for a good reason. So even if it's something that you need to work on yourself,